Welcome. I'm in Morocco right now, in Marrakesh, and I've decided to do a YouTube video here just because I've been connecting with the energy here, and we've been to 3 different places in Morocco, and I just wanted to talk about some of the things that I've been getting spiritually over the last few weeks. And so yeah, I just thought I'd do a YouTube. I'm outside the mosque where right near where we're staying, and the building is absolutely beautiful, and I'm just in a little garden. I'll try and see if I can show the camera the building. So that's the bit where they call for prayer up there, and then there's some of the palm trees and stuff. So it's really, I love all the architecture here. It's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do in my YouTube. I'm going to do today, talk about a couple of things. One thing I had some feedback from my last YouTube about I hadn't really explained about the victim and villain thing in a more logical way, and because I just speak from my heart. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit in this video, and try and explain more logically why I have these ideas and these theories. And then what the main part of my video is to talk about the paedophile energy. And the title of this video may sort of shock people or be a bit bit eye grabbing, but I think about a lot of things like this a lot, and I'm going to talk about integrity with this whole energy of paedophilia. So in most of the world, not just our culture and society, but practically all over the world, paedophilia is the worst type of crime because it involves children. I think it can be seen as it is. Paedophiles are, it's disgusting. It makes me feel disgusting just thinking about it. And we do our best to protect our children, but there is a massive problem with this topic. So what do we do with the paedophiles? What do we do? They need. I've had this thing for a while that they need healing, because the victims need healing, of course, but the paedophiles need healing. That's how we could possibly cure the issue, by going to the root of why they are doing it. Why is there such a problem? So I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about my experience I've had some memories now of an experience of a paedophile interfering with me when I was very, very young, like 1.5 or 1 or something like that. So I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about integrity. So integrity for me is about being whole, being completely true to yourself, and honouring yourself as that person fully, not going back on your word, but if you make a decision, following that decision through, that whole picture. So because paedophilia, rape, all of these things are in our current culture and society, our whole world has rape in it at some point. The whole world has an issue with sexual abuse. Sex slavery happens in different countries and cultures. There's everything. The whole world has this issue of sexual abuse. So why do we have that? This is what I question in my work that I do with my partner Marcus. I channel, as I've said before in previous YouTubes, and we ask our guides, why have we got this issue? Why have we got these major world problems? And why do innocent people like myself, my 1-year-old self, why do what looks like an innocent person suffer with it? Why are there victims? So we talk about this a lot, and this is why I want to bring it up, to relate to the previous YouTube I did about victim and villain. And basically the answers that we're getting is that it is linked with integrity. So to be whole, you need to experience being the victim just as much as you would need to experience being the perpetrator. So on a spiritual level, and this probably only really makes sense if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, the reason why you experience being a victim is to experience the whole picture. So I'm going to talk about so you experience being a victim, experience being the whole picture, and then in another life, or even in this life, you could experience being the perpetrator. Maybe like me, you may have had an experience of being interfered with by a paedophile as a child. So you might not become a paedophile, but at school you may have bullied someone or something. I mean, can't say I've ever bullied anyone. I may have, called someone a name at school. But anyway, that's the idea that I'm giving as an example. So you may be a victim in one area and then a perpetrator in another, and you may think, yeah, but bullying someone at school, I mean, if that did happen to you, whatever, you need to forgive yourself. But bullying someone at school isn't as great or isn't as bad as someone interfering with me, like as a paedophile interfering with a child. You may have that comparison. So can we compare? Can we compare these things? So I was bullied at school, and it did affect me. It did affect my confidence. Made me. I mean, it's all compacted into who I am today, and I do like to believe I'm a confident person, but I have deep insecurities. I've done YouTubes about having suicidal thoughts and or catastrophic thoughts about things in my life, and I'm not saying that's because I was bullied, but I am very insecure as well, and I can come across as confident, and I like to speak my truth, but inside I feel like a tiny little child sometimes who can't speak properly and feels very insecure. So and I do believe that I have been affected by being bullied at school just as much as I feel like I've been affected by this experience I've had. So can we compare? Is there a comparison, or is one greater than the other? But I don't believe they are. If something's been if a trauma has affected someone and it really affects them, for example being bullied, but they've never experienced paedophilia, then that they're allowed to feel that trauma, and it could be just as great as someone else who's experienced paedophilia. So do you see what I mean? So now what I want to talk about is the paedophilia that happened to me. Now then, I hope the call of prayer doesn't come in a minute, because it might do, because I'm right near the turret that the speaker comes out of. So basically, when I was 1 year old, my parents had to work. My mother has a glass blowing business and my father ran it with her, and they had to put me into a childminder. Now this woman who was the childminder, she was registered with the council, and she actually abused me, not sexually, but a social worker observed her with me at a child soft play thing that she took me to with the other children that she was with, and the social worker thought that my behaviour with this childminder was very odd, and rang my mother and told my mother that she had to pick me up from the childminders immediately. But at this point I've been at the childminders for around 6 months to a year, so I'd been there for a significant amount of time in my young life, and I've actually got memory of this woman, and I have a very shy bladder now. She was trying to potty train me, and she didn't like me messing my nappy. I was, 1 year old, so I was wearing nappies, and she used to push my head down, like push it down to the floor when I messed my nappy. So that's one form of abuse that happened to me with her. And I couldn't obviously speak properly to my parents to tell them that this was happening, so they didn't know. My mum said when she picked me up, I just seemed very, very quiet and like a bit off with her. She thought it was just because she'd left me there and she'd been at work all day. But more recently, I've had memories through doing my I've been seeing my own EFT therapist, and I've had memories of there's a cat that's just coming to see me, very sweet, but hello. I've had memories. I think this is a sign. I think she's trying to help me with my YouTube. Hope she hasn't got fleas, but hello. So I've had memory of this man who was her husband, the childminder's husband, actually interfering with me when I was 1 year old, and hello. I have a memory of I felt in my memory I wasn't scared, because in my memory he's given me, it feels like he's given me love. So he actually licks my private parts in my memory, and he fiddles about with me in that memory. The cat is out on me. Oh, you want some coffee, darling? I don't think you want that, sweetheart. Oh, thank you. Okay, so this is probably a feral cat, by the way. Bless it. So basically, this childminder woman was, in my memory, was not loving me, and I felt very rejected, deeply alone. I remember these feelings. I've got these feelings now. Then her husband, in my memory, was giving me affection, even though he was inappropriately touching me. And so basically, I've got these two memories of this situation, and my inner child, when I've done work on it, actually enjoyed the lick that happened to me, and I felt so ashamed. I've done some work on this with one of my friends, who is a very good EFT therapist, and she helped me with this memory because it was coming up and it was so bad, and I felt deeply ashamed. And yeah, the little child inside of me was really felt some love from this man, and didn't understand that it was wrong or dirty or disgusting, but just felt like, oh, there's someone who's loving me. And then as I get older, my mother, she wants to be straight. As I get older, my mother, she's very protective. She's a very good mother. She's very protective, but she has a lot of anxiety issues with safety and her children. So she actually had this fear that with all three of us, that we would be interfered with paedophiles or raped or something. So from as soon as we could understand, I remember being like, 4 years old or whatever, she would say, never let a man see you naked, never let a man touch you inappropriate. And it was always men. Like she would tell us that men could be rapists or they could be paedophiles. So I had this, I knew this had happened to me when I was one or 1.5 years old with this other man. And then my mum's trying to protect me when I get older. And she says, don't ever let a man see you naked. Don't ever let a man touch you inappropriately. And how the brain works and your emotions work is I've remembered that has happened to me. So then I'm feeling bad because I've let this man touch me inappropriately, lick me inappropriately, and see me. And so I've let that happen to me. And then my mum is telling me that it's really bad to let anyone see you touch you inappropriately. It's really bad. So then I'm holding on to all that shame of feeling deeply ashamed. And to top it all off, my 1-year-old self enjoyed it because it felt love from it. So and this is how therapy. Well, I am a therapist and I help people with these issues. But this is how it works. So you will have something happen to you and I felt some love from this man. It's really weird, whatever you want to call it, and then I'm feeling deep shame over it later on, and the whole thing is messed up inside of me. So I've done a whole I've done a whole session with my friends and like in my own mind told my mum that I actually enjoyed it, and I was so ashamed. The shame was coming up. I was feeling sick. I was actually sick a couple of times in the session that I was doing with my friends, but it really helped me, and I wanted to do this to help people, and that's why possibly the title is a bit shocking, to help anyone who has suffered with an experience of paedophilia in their childhood and may have enjoyed it, and it's okay. It's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. You don't have anything to be ashamed of. You're a child and you might have felt love from it, and that is totally fine and it's totally normal. And that's my message, to help people who may be suffering with feeling deep shame or victimhood. And it's okay to feel that you enjoyed it. Please try, and if you can do anything, if you can't afford to see a therapist, don't worry, just try and forgive yourself for feeling that shame, and please try and love yourself for it. This cat's cleaning itself behind me, bless it. So that's my message, and basically going back to the previous video, I felt for so victim and perpetrator. I do believe that I believe that I had that experience with this man who interfered with me, so that I could have compassion over the paedophiles, and I could feel their pain possibly, and the purpose of their. Sorry, someone's just come and put a little kitten up there. feel the the pain that they're in, that they are humans just like all of us, and you know, some of them, yeah, they've got they despise children or whatever, and some of them are very messed up, and they actually love children and want to have sexual relationships with children. And I believe that, you know, as a society, as a whole world, we need to look at this, and because children are here forever, we need to keep the generations going. But I don't believe that, you know, paedophiles should be castrated. I think they need to be healed. I think they need to be I think they need to see that we need to look at them as a human being with an issue that needs healing, and not as separate from society, and they should be poo-pooed and got rid of or whatever. Because you know what, your child could end up being a paedophile. I mean, my child could. It's awful, because that's what can happen when you know, you look at the research. If you've been abused by a paedophile, there's a certain percentage of those children that go on to abuse as paedophiles. So I believe that that experience has made me whole, and it gives me greater integrity over my healing and how I can help heal people and the world as a whole. And that's why I believe it happened, and what I can do for the world. So I hope that makes sense. And sorry, just looking at some of my notes. And yeah, I still don't believe I'm a victim. I feel that I'm healing it, I'm resolving it. I'm doing these YouTubes helps me step into some level of power with it, and balance myself and meet my own integrity with it. If you have any questions, or if you do not like this video, that's absolutely fine. You're entitled to not like it. But could you please either drop me a message, or in the comments section below this, if it's triggered you or whatever, you could just say, or why you don't like it, because I'm really open to feedback, and I'm here to help people. I'm here to expand minds, whatever. So I apologise if it has triggered you, and but if it's helped you, great. And I don't wish to offend anyone. I wish to, like I say, expand minds and get a message out there, and help the world develop, help the world expand, help these, you know, these issues be understood, so we're not separating ourselves. It's not us and them. It's like we're all humans, and we can all move forward together. Okay, so, oh god, there's such a sweet little kitten over here. I have to show you on my, I don't know if this is the mummy behind me, but I'm so sorry about this if it's a little bit jolty, but literally come and have a look at this kitten. Oh, look at her, she's so adorable. Hello, look, say, oh, look at her, can you see her? I don't know if you can see her, but she is the most adorable. Oh, sorry, I think that's her mum. Oh, look, oh, look, oh. Sorry, right, I'm gonna go now, but I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe. If you have any questions, put them in the comments section. I will get back to you. And have a wonderful life, a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon. Lots of love. God bless you, and namaste.